Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. If you're a subscriber to my channel, thank you very much. And if you're not, then hopefully after seeing this, you'll consider subscribing and just press the subscribe button and the bell, and it will notify you of all my projects that I do. So we are using this lovely gnome for the holidays set. I love him. He's my favorite little cutie gnome. This one I have used plaid tidings, but I'm going to change the colours for this one. I've used shaded spruce with it, but we're going a bit mossy meadow for this one, and I'm using this lovely Heartwarming Hugs DSP so that I can pick out the mossy meadow, and then I'll be changing the colours of the gnome to mossy meadow to match it, because I've used a lot of shaded spruce recently and I fancied a change. This one I heat embossed him and watercoloured him, but I'm going to do this one with alcohol markers just to see a little bit of a difference. I think I wanted him to jump out a little bit more. So I'm using, you might notice, I'm using 2 die sets with this card. I'm using the stitched rectangles, so I'm using the largest 2 on it, and I'm using these stitched nested dies. So I'm not using the largest one, I'm using the next 2 down. Okay, so what we were going to do is, for the mat, I'm going to cut out this largest, going to do it on that one, give me a little bit of wiggle room, this largest one here, and I will be cutting with the larger of these 2 out of that, save myself a bit of cardstock, and then that's what I'm going to do the stamping on. So I'm going to do the stamping first so I know where to cut, and then the mat that's going to go around it will be cut with this next size down out of this sheet, and then I'm going to use the smaller one than that to cut out the centre, so gutting it effectively, and then I've got a little sort of elongated hexagon to use in another card, just making the cardstock go a little bit further. And I will cut a mat for the inside out of the stitch rectangle, because I think that looks really cool. This is a standard C6 card here in the UK, which is half a sheet of A4 cut in half, scored in half, but you will have to cut this down a little bit to 5.5 if you want it to mat lovely with these stitched dies. They are made for American size paper, which is different to UK paper. Okay, so that's what I just do. You can leave it as it is, you just have a big border. I'll show you what that looks like actually before I trim it down. So let's do, I'm going to do my little stamped image on the inside of this before I do some cutting, so that I kind of know where he's going to sit. Okay, so I'm going to use Memento ink, because that's what you need if you're going to colour with the blends. The original one here, I stamped that in Stays On and then put some clear embossing powder on it and heat embossed it, and it gives you a little bit of embossing there for you, because you can't use Memento with watercolor. It would run, because it's a water-based ink. There we go. So I'm going to cut all the die cutting out. So that's all my die cutting done. So I'll peel him off. I can use that to stamp the sentiment, so I'll leave that over there. So we've got our mat, and as you can see, it doesn't mat perfectly on the card, so you can leave it like that, or you can trim it down. So that will now mat over that. I've got that piece for another card, and that's our topper that will cover up that gap, so you'd never know. And these can all be used for another card, and that's going on the inside, so you can see the difference that it looks like. I've just realised that looks a little bit on the wonk, doesn't it? Oh well. So let's get him coloured in, and we'll worry about everything else afterwards. So I've got my pens here. So we want our Mossy Meadow colour lifter, real red. And yeah, so we want all of these. I'm not going to colour the beard. I didn't on this one, and I thought I quite liked it and coloured in, so I'm going to go for it not being coloured in this time. I have got another video where I have coloured him that you can look at. So the hat, Mossy Meadow. So if you've seen my other video, you'll know. So I go just little strokes. I'm going to colour this one a little bit differently. So I'm going to go little strokes up, and I'm going all the way along the side. What I want to do on this one is have darker on the outside going to lighter in the middle. So then we go and stroke down towards the dark. In that direction, down towards the dark. In this direction. Going to add a bit more darkness. And then I'm going to sort of blend that in circular motions. Like so, and do the same on this side. So just add in a bit more dark, this time going all the way up to the tip. Then we'll just do a bit of blending where the dark meets the light, and then another bit of flicking backwards. Bit more dark. I am enjoying colouring with blends so much more than I did when I first got them. Probably because I've been using them more. I'm kind of liking the results. So now I'm just gonna take the colour lifter and just go down the middle a little bit to give that sort of bit of lightness in the middle there. So we want is bauble. I'm going to do a sort of a goldy coloured bauble. So I've got Mango Melody and Pumpkin Pie. So just do a little bit Mango Melody there, and a little bit Pumpkin Pie. I've just realised I'm doing all of this without my glasses, which wasn't too bad for that for the hat because it was quite big, but when you've got smaller bits here. And then I'm just going to take the real red and go across the middle. Right, must have got my real red out. That's the light one. We'll do his clothes. Gone over that a tad. Let's try and get that off a little bit there. I haven't decided about his shoes yet. So light Calypso Coral and light Flirty Flamingo. Just a little bit round his nose. And then I'll just go round with the bigger end of the colour lifter in a circle and sort of blend that out to give him sort of a skin tone look. And then we've got there we go. And then I might do a little bit of grey on the bottom of his boots. And then have some green. And I think that'll do. So that is how I colour him. Okay, so now let's get, we need the sentiment. So the sentiment, I have chosen A Little Christmas Wish. So I've got that mounted, had that little bit, got caught, that little bit there. So I'm going to stamp him in Memento on here. There we go, lovely jubbly. then I'm using the classic label punch. And we're just gonna make it a little bit smaller. So I'm putting the wish up next to the punch there, so that I can come in and make it a little bit shorter. So just feed it back in, put the A up there, and then we've got it a little bit shorter. And then out of a scrap of mossy meadow, I can punch one of these, and then that fits nicely on top of there with just a little bit of a margin either side. So we are ready now to glue all this together. So I'll stick these together, and I will pop this up. You've got a choice between popping this whole thing up on dimensionals or popping up just the sentiment. I mean, you could pop both up, but that does mean you'd have to post it large letter. One dimensional thickness will go ordinary letter, either first or second, whichever is your choice. But if you put 2-dimensional height on it, then it'll have to go large letter. So I'm going to cut this down because I do like the look of it cut down. I think it gives you a nice margin around. So I'm going to go to 5.5. Our cards will then be ever so slightly narrower, but it doesn't really notice so much. So they will do for cutting out with the classic label punch, I'm sure. Yes, it doesn't notice so much the margins when they're like that, I don't find. Right, so we get this stuck down. So I always do stick them down one at a time like this when I've gutted. So try not to do this one on the wonk like I did the last one. Just to go over a tad, up a tad. Just, you can come over a bit. Oh, I think I might have gone a bit of a wonky donkey again, but it's okay. Right, I think maybe I need to give in and wear glasses all the time. I need to make an appointment for the opticians actually, because I should have had my eyes tested right at the beginning of lockdown. And I've had several text messages to say my appointment's overdue. It's like, yeah, I'm well aware of that. Like 6 months. So, but I haven't gone out much, to be honest. There we go. That's quite nice. You could put something in the middle there, to be fair. Could have done a smaller version of this, but we're not. So I'll stick him down. And I think with so much white on the card, having the beard white works really well. There we go. Where is my sentiment gone? It's under there. Well, stick this on. Stick him in the inside. Nice little touch there with the stitch edges. And then we need some dimensionals to pop up the, that's big ones, that's the little ones. So we have 3, we have 1 middle and 1 at either end. That's what I like. There we go. Oh, that didn't come off, did it? Oh yeah, it did. So let me get this straight. I quite like it when it goes across that section there. There we go. So that's him in Mossy Meadow with alcohol marker, and there he is, shaded spruce with watercolour in. So 2 sort of different looks. Yeah, so I think I'm erring towards using the blends than watercolouring, but I do like that as well. So, and you can, there's loads and loads of choices in the plaid tidings. You could actually make your gnome all sorts of different colours there to match. So all details will be over on nigezza.co.uk, and there'll be nice little close-ups for you. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you'll join me again soon. Bye for now.